Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Beer Garden. Along with Joshua, Joe, Steve, and myself, we are going to talk about the Sunday race card at Charene. It is quite a special arrangement this time because we are going to have five all-weather races along with five turf races in the card. Most of the turf races are on sprint races, so quite funny at all. So as always, our show will be talking about race 8 to race 10. That will be the treble, along with our best bet and value bet. So let's start talking about the first leg of the treble. Race 8, it is a class 3 over 1200 over the all-weather track. Joshua, who do you like in race 8?
Well, firstly, I'd like to say I saw Steve's winners on Wednesday, and so I thought I'd copy the haircut, and hopefully some good luck will come with that.
Yeah.
Um, we start off with an all-weather race in the treble races, which is not always easy. We'll have a good indication of how it's going to play by this point. Look, I found it really tough. I landed with Spontaneous. I thought might get some nice value about it, jumping out of barrier 8. His all-weather runs haven't been too bad at the end of last season, where he won convincingly in front of horses like Charene and Jazz Steed, and hit the line well from a bad draw behind Toronado Phantom, which isn't bad form, and then ended the season with a third behind Super Wind Dragon. We've seen what that horse has come out and done this season on the all-weather. He has had one run on the Happy Valley circuit, which I don't think he's overly suited to. I think, but that run will do him a world of good. I just like the low weight and the draw here. This is quite an open race. Manstar is the one that I was originally worried about, but I think even though he meets Spontaneous, I think it's about 2 kilos better. He still has to make up that 2-length defeat from last preparation. So I think Spontaneous can run a good race here, but I wouldn't be diving in.
Yes, we're going down to the bottom. Number 12, Spontaneous, will carry the bottom weights here. And second up today for the season. Last time it was a bit unlucky for him because the wide is not that suitable for him. There was a lot of fast horses in that field. So this time moving to the all-weather track, he already had a performance last season. So good chance for him. How about you, Joe? Who do you like in race 8?
Race number 8, I actually went with one that hasn't won yet in Hong Kong, and that's number 3, Maximus, with Sylvester de Souza is coming back. I think that now it's funny because his all-weather form is over the Kempton track, and I think it's a poly track, so it's gonna be a little different than the all-weather in Hong Kong. But his win was against Berlin Tango, who was at the UK at the time. So that's going to be interesting that there's a form line between him and Berling Tango with that. He hasn't had a win yet, so we're still looking to see if he does have the ability, because they thought of him in the 4-year-old Triple Crown series last season, but he didn't perform as well. He is going to class 3. I think that with the draw, he hasn't had a draw like one. He's had like 2, but he's never had one. So I think that the rail is going to be important for him as well. And he does have some form against some of the big name horses like Sky Darcy and Butterfield and Excellent Proposal and all those. So I think he should run pretty good fresh. And he had some decent trial. He had Karastine at first, and now it's going to be a Sylvester de Souza. So I'm not sure what the value is or what the price is going to be on him, but I think he could run a good race here in this class 3 on the all-weather. So I'm going with number 3, Maximus.
Yes, number 3, Maximums. I believe that the price for him will be quite good because after a long spell, he returned with a good barrier trial. Last season, he always performed over the turf track. However, before coming to Hong Kong, just like Joe said, he had a great result at Kempton, and that time he won it impressively. So this time making the all-weather debut in Hong Kong, I think there is a good chance for him as well. How about you, Steve? Who do you like in race 8?
Well, I went for Zars, and I follow him a few times. He's got a quite poor record in Hong Kong. He's only won once from 28, and he was third last time to Super Wind Dragon. Manstar was 3 lengths ahead of him. It's hard to imagine him bridging that, but I thought Manstar was a bit worse off at in the draw. He's quite highly drawn, Manstar, and I'm not sure that Manstar will back up his good second last time. Zars and the frequent winner, and of course Zach Purton switches to Manstar. So, but I still like Zars. He's only a pound above his solitary win in Hong Kong. Ironically, it was under Zach Purton. It was a real good run that day, won by 5.5 lengths. But he's nicely drawn. And a good chance, as Joe says, Maximus is another interesting horse, and Spontaneous a horse as I like as well. I always thought he kind of struggled in sort of class 3 and better in class 4. But again, I thought he was interesting too, because he seems to like the dirt surface. And you know, some horses can just suddenly improve and, you know, actually run above themselves and perhaps perform better in a class that you didn't think they were capable of. And I thought he showed some bright speed on his reappearance last time, Spontaneous. So a really nice horse. Just a couple of seasons ago, he rattled off, didn't he? I think it was a hat trick, I think, during the season. So had three winners, three wins. So very nice. But Zarzan, yes, an infrequent winner, but one that I shall stick with, and in a race where I think my hands will be staying in my pockets.
Yeah, I agree with you, Steve. I also like number 4, Sergeant, because last time it was he was going down to class 3 again. However, at that time the weight is too heavy, 134, but this time taking out 8 pounds and also ridden by Lau. He was another good jockey in Hong Kong. I believe the weight this time is the main advantage for him. So breaking from gate 7, I think that he can just stay in the midfield. There are some fast horses in this race, so I believe the pace will be quite suitable for him to show a great turn of foot in the home straight. So I also agree number 4, Sarzan. So to recap, race 8, Joshua goes for number 12, Spontaneous. Joe goes for number 3, Maximums. Steve and I agree with number 4, Sarzan. So the second leg of the treble will be race 9. We move to the turf track. It is a class 3 over 1400 meters. Joshua, who is your pick in race 9?
Yeah, this looks a nice little race here. I led it with Casa Papa. I had it put it in the black book after last start. You know, it lost by under a length, but if you have a look at the replay for those who, hopefully those who back it don't have PTSD from it. It was badly held up in the straight and right up until the 100-meter mark, and he shifted out and he bumped and he just had no luck whatsoever. He still ran better sectionals than a lot of the horses that were finishing well on the outside. So, and arguably should have beat Mr. Ascendancy on the day. I thought maybe they would stick to the 1400, which they have. His Australian form dictates that he could probably do a mile to 2000, but 1400 meters looks ideal. The draw is similar to last start, so Jerry Chow sticks. So I just don't see him doing the same thing that he did last time and getting some clear air here in what looks a race that has a few last start winners, but with a couple of question marks around them. So I think Casa Papa with clear air can get the job done and get his first Hong Kong win on the board.
Yes, Casa Papa, number 5 in race 9. Last time he really surprised me because he didn't get a clear one in the final furlong. However, he still managed to finish second. It was so impressive. Maybe the second season in Hong Kong is more better for him. And also, definitely, Jerry Chow is a good jockey for him. He knows the horse well, and recently he keeps riding this horse in the morning trial. So number 5, Casa Papa is Georgia's selection. And Joe, who do you like in race 9?
I think I'm going to take a bit of a chance here with race number 9 because I'm going to go with Circuit 9, the one that's came up from Griffin Company. But I loved his last race. I think when we had the Griffin races last season, when we were doing the show, I think Circuit 9 was one of the ones that we've picked. And I think that he's going to be facing obviously the older horses, and they put him in class 3, but not too much weight with 54 kilos. But I like the way that he ran on at the end in his last race towards the end of the season back in May. His trials at Chung Fa are pretty average, but his trials were also average until he won. So I know this is going to be a little bit more of an ask. He's a 3-year-old against the older horses, but there might be a bright future with him. I loved how he fought on at the end though at that race and the other race too, where he won by 1.8 lengths. So going for the hat trick, it's going to be a tough task, but I think that he might be able to do it. So I'm gonna go with number 9, Circuit 9.
Yes, I agree. Circuit 9, number 9 as well. He's unbeaten in the Griffin races last season. He is the first ever son of Caravaggio racing in Hong Kong. I really believe that he's having a bright future here. Lovely grey. So, Steve, are you going to select another grey horse?
Yeah, funnily enough, I am. Number 4, Decrypt, a nice horse. He was trained in Ireland by Paddy Tomey, won twice there, and he's won the once in Hong Kong when trained by David Hayes. He now is making his debut for Pierre Ung, and I think he's a nice horse. I think he's just kind of finding his way now, and I think he'll need luck in running, kind of a hold-up horse. But yes, it was a nice win. He won by a length. From Super Dynamite. This was back in April, and he remained in decent form since then. And his final run of last season was on 16th of July when he was second to Never Too Soon. So I think from a nice gate in Barrier 3 with Antoine Hamlin, who knows him well, I think he has a very good chance. But it's a wide open race. I thought the main form came from the race that Joshua's picked, Casapapa, who ironically, between Casapapa, Eremo, Red Titan and Dragon Fortune, he was by far the largest priced. But it's a very unlucky horse that day, trapped on the rails for a long time. And I think, although it's you can never quite tell how it would have panned out, it's hard to believe that he would not have beaten Mr. Ascendancy, because, I mean, it must have been a couple of furlongs with just no room to manoeuvre. Whether he repeats the feat, that's the question. He has every chance, but I think that the likes of Red Titan, especially Eremo, could build on that this time with Zach Purton taking over, and he's also got the plum draw as well. Eremo, two runners there for John Size. But for me, yes, hopefully Decrypt can be a nice winner. That will be a nice price, I think, as well for Pierre Ung.
Yeah, I think so. Decrypt number 4 in this field, maybe the price will be quite good for him. After joining Pierre Ng's stable, he is just had the brilliant barrier trial performance, and actually his form last season was not bad when he was in the David Hayes stable. So this time a good draw for him, breaking from gate 3. He can definitely get a cover, and that's the best position for him. And for me, I'm going to have my best bet here. It will be number 13, Eremo. I believe that the draw is really great because gate 1 is so ideal for him. Last time I was breaking from gate 11 on his seasonal debuts, I think the wide draw is too difficult for him. So just let him have a first up run, and then after that he returned very fit in the barrier in the morning trial. So also this time Zach Purton takes the ride. I believe he can show a better performance because it is his first time taking this John Size chain gelding. So I will be looking forward to him. And after breaking from the good draw, I'm expecting him to be staying behind the leaders. I love to see him staying more in front in the field in the beginning. So hopefully he can do it. And I believe that Zach Purton is able to let the horse to show some good speed in the early stage. So my best bet on Sunday will be number 13, Eremo in race 9. So to recap second leg of the treble, Joshua goes for number 5, Casapapa, Joe likes number 9, Circuit 9, and Steve goes for number 4, Decrypt. And my selection will be number 13, Eremo, and he's also be my best bet on Sunday. So we go to the last race of the card, that will be race 10, another turf race. It will be 1400 meters as well, but it is a class 2. There are so many good horses, good up and coming horses here. Joshua, who is your selection in race 10?
You're not wrong. What a race this is. Quality from top to bottom. I landed with 14, Galaxy Witness here from barrier 3. All the paces to the outside. Look, it's unfortunate that some of these good horses are going to have to draw wide here because the return of Keefe and Packing Victory backing up, and the Irishman, this is going to be a cracking race. But I think Galaxy Witness back to 1400 meters is the key here. I thought his sectionals and his ratings going through the grades in his first season was really, really good. And then he sort of hit a brown patch around at the end of last season over the mile. And I just don't think he's a miler. I think he's a 1200 to 1400 meter horse. He's trialled up brilliantly. He's drawn well. He's going to have no weight on his back. I just think from the draw, he's going to get the suck run throughout. And as I said, we got a lot of speed to the outside. So if he can get peeled off the fence, I think he's a huge chance of running down this opposition. But you know, we saw what all for St. Paul's has come out and done, and that's who he placed against over the mile. But some of the horses he's beat over the 1400 meters, including not limited to Super Dynamite and On Point and Winner Method, and of course this 1200 meter win over Oriental Smoke, and we've seen what that horse has done this season. So I think Galaxy Witness, he's a progressive type. He should get a good run from a good draw, and I think he can start the season off with a win in what looks a really, really good race.
Oh, your mic is off, Charene.
Oh, sorry. Yes, I agree with Joshua that number 14, Galaxy Witness, making his seasonal debut over 1400 meters. He is unbeaten over this distance. So I'm really looking forward to him as well. But Joe, who do you like in race 10?
Race 10, I went with one that Joshua mentioned, the Irishman, number 4. So I saw that he had trials with Zach Purton, but Zach Purton never got to ride him in an actual race. So now he gets to ride him in the race, and his 1400 meter victory came at Warwick Farm back in last year of March. He hasn't tried the 1400 ever since that. Well, he did after he came back from a G3 at Randwick, his fresh up race, and he got second at 30-1, and he drew wide too. He drew 11. He's drawn 1. So they considered him in the 4-year-old series, and he had some really good performances. And I think at one point he was sort of like near the favorite, and he does have some form line behind Beluga, who I know that we all love here at the Beer Garden. So I'm gonna go with him again. I think the Irishman could run a bold race, but yeah, like what Joshua was saying, this is a really competitive race. Like it looks really, it's like the return of Keefe, as you said, Silvestre, Navis 2, Taichi Monster, Beauty Fit. Some of them that have ran disappointing are going to get their chance to run their race today or that day or Saturday or Sunday. But I'm going to go with the Irishman. I think the Irishman with Zach Purton, especially getting the mount this time, I think he's going to try to show his stuff here. So number 4 for me, the Irishman.
Yes, right. There are a lot of good horses in the field. And number 4, the Irishman, is definitely one of the good horses because he is quite lightly raced in Hong Kong. So just get beaten from the 4-year-old series last season. There were some excuses for him. Maybe the contenders are too strong, like the California Spangle and Romantic Warrior. However, this time racing in a Class 2 race and also with Zach Purton on board gets the good draw, very good chance for him as well. Steve, how about you? Do you agree with Joshua or Joe?
Yes, I agree with Joshua. I just thought Galaxy Witness was the horse that has the potential star quality. He won on debut. He then, so he was best fresh there. He then made a return just about 2 months, 56 days, and he won. And I think stepping back to this trip will suit. I thought it was I always picked Galaxy Witness because it was such a hard race to pick an alternative as well. I wasn't sure that Navas 2 was over 1200 last time, and I wasn't sure he showed enough to merit being a selection here. And then in the Time O'Shan handicap almost a month ago, behind Good Luck Friend, we've got 4 horses here. We've got Sylvestra, we've got Spirited Express, Packing Victory in the Golden Scenery, and they all fought out the places in the blanket finish, and trying to decide who will emerge from these 4, I think, is almost impossible. So in the end, I thought that Galaxy Witness, he's well drawn, and he might just come back and show the potential that we know he has in a race where he's receiving weight from them all. So, he has a very good chance, I think. You can just imagine him coming back and ending the night with a winner for Matthew Chadwick.
Yes, and I'm also with number 14, Galaxy Witness, as well. As we just mentioned that there are so many good horses here, like Kiwi, but he is wide drawn, and also Sylvester. But Navis too, I believe that stepping up to 1400 meters is definitely more suitable for him. But I'm still like to going down to the bottom, number 14, Galaxy Witness, with Matthew Chadwick on board for the first time, working from a good draw, only carrying 117 pounds. And as a 4-year-old, I believe that his plan in this season is going to the 4-year-old Classic Series the first leg will be started in January. So this time returning over 1400 meters, that he was unbeaten over this distance. I'm quite looking forward to him. So I believe that if he performs well on Sunday, he may just step up to the mile and then 1800 meters and finally the 2000 meters for the Derby. So I believe he is having quite a good season in Hong Kong because he is healthy in the morning track work. He looks fit, looks really attractive, really looking well. I believe he is still improving as a 4-year-old. So to recap, race 10, we only have 2 horses mentioned that we select, but there are lots of some good contenders here. So Joshua, Steve, and myself will go for number 14, Galaxy Weakness, and Joe will go for number 4, the Irishman. So after talking about the treble races, we move to our best bet of Sunday. Joshua, who will be your best bet?
Yeah, call me crazy. I've gone back to an all-weather race for my best bet. Race number 3, horse number 2, Campione or Campione, however you want to pronounce it. This horse is going to go like the wind on the all-weather. He's had the 2 all-weather runs so far in Hong Kong for 2 wins, and they have been his biggest margins so far, 1.5 and 1.1. He just has this unbelievable cruising speed, and although he was beaten 3.2 lengths on season resumption, it was behind Lucky Sweynesse. I thought the run was absolutely brilliant for a first up run, especially over the 1200 meters. I think from gate 6, it's not going to worry. You know, the all-weather, you don't have to worry about a wide draw if you've got speed. He'll get to the front and he'll say, catch me if you can, with Zach Burton aboard. The weight won't bother him either. I think he's the best bet on the card. I think he can win by I'll give him 1.5 lengths. I think he can really get the job done here over the 1200 meters on the all weather. So that's race 3, number 2, Campione.
Yes, I also think that he will win easily over the all-weather track. And also, I just forgot to mention in the beginning of the show that will be the weather on Sunday. It is expected to be some shower on Sunday afternoon in Hong Kong. But for Campione number 2 in race 3, he already have some good performance over the wet all-weather course last season. So this time, no matter how the track will be, that will be very suitable for him. Especially, he just had an impressive one over the turf track last time out, just beaten by Lucky Sweynesse. And yes, Zach Burton will be riding this time. He's also have some good relationship with the owner, like Exultant. Also in this silk, he also partnered Zach Burton to have some great results in Hong Kong. So yes, definitely Campione number 2 in race 3. He will be Joshua's best bet for the day. And Joe, who will be your best bet?
I don't know who's crazier, me or Joshua, because I have a best bet in a class 5 race. So this is going to be pretty interesting here because it's if you watch the call, okay, so it's going to be UW brother number 12 with Matthew Poon, who's taking a kilo off. He's in a class 5, but he was at class 4 at one point and did get a win at class 4, but that was a long time ago. He only had 1 win until then. But if you watch the call of his last race against Chu Chow brother, which was pretty funny by Mark McNamara calling them brothers, and they're not related, but that's because they have the names. But yeah, he ran a really bold second, but he only knows one way, and that's to go straight, or just to go, fast and play catch me if you can. So he's drawn 7, but this is class 5, and I don't really see anything else. It looks like a bad race, but I think based off of his last performance in last week at Sha Tin, I think he could run a lot better and have the fitness, because he trialed a second before he ended up getting second in this race. So I'm gonna go with I don't know what his price is gonna be. It's gonna be interesting to see what the odds are for this class 5 race, but I'm gonna go with the UW brother. He is gonna take off another kilo as well, and he was at, I think, at 58, so he's going to be a little bit lower. So yeah, I'm going to go with UW brother for me in race number 4.
Yes, right. A lightweight for UW brother number 12 in race 4, and I expect him to be the leader in the field. He always show the consistent gate speed, and especially in a class 5 race, horses leading in front will definitely have some advantage. And Steve, how about you? Who will be your best bet?
I think it's quite funny here because Josh is going mad for picking a best bet on the dirt. Joe's going mad for picking a class 5. Well, I'm double mad because I'm going on the dirt and going against Campione. So that'll be interesting. But yeah, I went for Majestic Star. And I've always liked, I think Majestic Star's a cracking horse. He's 5 from 15, really good strike rate, 2 from 4 on the all weather. And I liked his last run. He was 5th, not beaten far behind Fantastic Treasure. It's interesting, a 5-year-old son of I Am Invincible, and Harry Bentley was on board for his reappearance. It's funny, Harry Bentley, he won Cayenne Spirit at the beginning of the season for Danny Shum, but he's been nothing from 22 cents on Danny Shum's horses. They must be starting to feel a little bit of pressure now, I'd imagine. But I've got him for G1 Excellent in race 4 as well, so hopefully the tide will turn for him. He was also an HZ Tourbillon on Wednesday when nothing went right for that horse as well. So he'll be hoping that there's an improvement for riding sort of Shum's horses. But yes, Majestic Star, I think Campione's a really fantastic horse, seems to really go on the dirt surface. But Majestic Star, I think he's one of these horses that's just quietly becoming more progressive. He's gone up from the ratings up to 91 now. I was really pleased with his return. And we'll see what happens. He's drawn 7 of 7. I don't think that's an issue either. It's a small field. He'll probably be held up. And in these dirt races, anything can happen. He'll probably be second favourite, I think, behind Campione. And hopefully he runs well. If Joshua does win, then I hope
good Quinella.
Yes, exactly. Hope he performs creditably.
Yeah, so there is a best Quinella in race 3 because Steve likes number 6, Majestic Star. Yes, I agree with that because moving back to the all-weather track, he is much more suitable over this surface. So yes, Harry Bentley is definitely very hungry for a winner, and he does get some good rides on Sunday, especially with the partnership for the Danny Shum trained horses. The Majestic Star is one of the winning hope for him, so I also quite looking forward to him as well. And for my best bet on Sunday, I just mentioned in race 9 that will be number 13 Arimo because he just gets the best jockey on board and breaking from gate 1 with a light draw, second up for the season for him, and I expect him to perform better from gate 1. So to recap our best bet on Sunday, Joshua goes for race 3, number 2 Campione, Joe goes for race 4, number 12 UW Brother. Steve also in race 3, the best bet is number 6 Majestic Star, and my best bet will be in race 9, number 13 Arimo. Yes, after talking about our best bets on the day, let's look for some horses with good price. Joshua, who will be your value bet?
As I say every week, it's tough to get the value when we haven't got the prices, but look, I landed with race 7, number 6, Indigenous Realm. I backed this guy first up. I thought it was a really, really good run from the white gate. He dropped back to last, absolutely flew up the outside, ran the quickest final 800, 600, and 400 of the entire meeting, which is when you put into perspective, Lucky With You ran on that day. So it was a pretty good run in a class 4 1400 meters. He's drawn barrier 3 this time, which I think is ideal for him. And Derek Long should be able to sit a few pairs closer in the run. He still will need a little bit of luck fanning off into the straight, but in what looks quite an open race, I think we can get a nice price about Indigenous Realm in race number 7.
Yes, Indigenous Realm race 7, number 6, he will have Derek Long on board again, and definitely gate number 3 is much more better than last time because last time out he broke from gate 11, and actually I didn't expect him to chase so well in the home straight. However, he definitely showed a good turn of foot and then finished 3rd. This time breaking from a better draw, much more better chance for him. And Joe, how about you? Who will be your value bet?
Value bets in race number 6. I actually had him in a selection before, but he ran 4th. So I'm looking for improvement. And that's number 8, Helene Wisdom Star. They tried him over the all-weather. He's going to the 1650, but that day in his penultimate race before the season ended, he drew 13 out of 13. So and he lost by 8.8 lengths. So now that he's drawn number 2, they're going to try him on the 1650 again. They've been alternating him trying on the 1200 and then the 1650, but I think he's more of a 1200 meter horse. He did have the two runs in his first part of his career on the all-weather back in the UK, I believe, and he won both of them. So they do think that he does have all-weather ability, but I think he's been mainly racing on the turf. But I don't think he had a win yet in the all-weather. He's had a second, but he's had a win at Happy Valley in a Class 2. So now he's gone down to Class 3. He ran, I think he should run a much improved race than last time. He does have like amazing teams who was a last beaten favorite, Lightning Bolt, Ching Prince. So I think at Blotting Paper, I remember a lot of us went for Blotting Paper last season as well. So and he was in form before the end of the season. He makes his season debut. But I think I'm gonna go with one that already ran, and that's number 8, Helene Wisdom Star with Luke Ferraris.
Yes, number 8, Helene Wisdom Star in race 6, this time breaking from a better draw. Last season, he showed some great performance over the wet turf track, wet or weather track, I mean. So maybe the track on Sunday will be more suitable for him. And definitely Luke Ferraris is a good jockey for him. He knows the horse well. Last time he did chase well in the home stretch, finishing 4th in the field. This time stepping up to 1650. You know, this distance, there is a turn right after the gates opens. So gates 2 must be very ideal for him. And Steve, who will be your value bet?
Well, I went along with Joshua actually. I went also to race number 7, and that was number 6, Indigenous Realm. It's funny when we submit our selections. If I'm not the first one to do it, then if I see notifications come in, I actually close my eyes and clear it, because there's not. If one day I find that I've got exactly the same selections as, say, you, Charene, or Joshua or Joe, then it'll be completely coincidental, because it kind of influences you sometimes when you see something. So I got a surprise when I saw Indigenous Realm as well, but maybe quite happy as well that Joshua had picked it. I just think he's one of these horses. He's not probably like a sexy profile, but he's a horse that's just kindly sort of improving, and he's shown a lot of consistency towards the end of last season. Derek Long gets on well with him, and I thought there was a few horses that you could sort of maybe discount. HK Dragons drawn 13 for the second time. I thought Let's Do It threatened a lot last season, but it's become a bit frustrating. Wide Blue Yonder, not convinced. Leslie, more of a 6 furlong horse. I think he'll be suited by the step up to this trip, but I don't see him winning on Sunday. And Dragon Pride, well, I picked him last time, but I don't think he showed enough on his reappearance to really rate him as having a chance here. And all is good. Blinkered first time for Zach Pert, and I wasn't sure about him either. So I did think from gate 3, hopefully we'll get a decent bit of value here. And I think Indigenous Realm has every chance of just being one of those steady Eddie horses that runs well.
Yes, that's interesting that we are going to have a double value bet for Sunday. Indigenous Realm race 7, number 6. Still remember that last time when we have a double best bet, that was Yo Beauty, and he does win. So this time Indigenous Realm in race 7, number 6. We should keep our eyes on him, because he is the double value bet for Joshua and Steve. And for myself, I will go for race 2, number 6, Turbo for Power. That he will be my value bet for the day, because he is going to make his all-weather debut in Hong Kong finally, I would say, because according to the pedigree, he's from USA, and both of his sire and the dam size, also there are a lot of good all-weather horses. So this time, after 15 attempts in Hong Kong, he is still a 4-year-old, still unexposed, I believe. So this time moving to the all-weather track, I will be quite looking forward to him. And actually, he already had 2 starts in this season. Both of them, I would say, it was quite a bit unlucky, because he drawn wide, breaking from gate 12 and gate 8. He just stayed wide without cover last time out, so there was some excuse for him. And yes, although this time there is not a better draw for him, gate 9. However, over the all-weather course, I believe he still be able to overcome it, especially with Vincent Ho on board, who knows the horse quite well. So I will be really looking forward to his all-weather performance. That is Turbo Power, number 6 in race 2, and he will be my value bet. So to recap our value bet on Sunday, both Joshua and Steve go for race 7, number 6, Indigenous Ram, and Joe goes for race 6, number 8, Helene Wisdom Star, and I will go for race 2, number 6, Turbo Power. So that's all for our prediction of the Sunday race card. Again, that will be gonna be a interesting card because there are 5 all-weather horses along with 5 races, and according to the weather forecast, there should be a bit shower in the afternoon in Hong Kong on Sunday. So let's hope we can bring you some winner, and we will see you next time for the Happy Value preview. Thank you for watching. See you next time. Bye bye.